Hello guys, Ademola Badmos here and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are supposed to talk about using the support folder and extending our commands, but based on the review I've gotten, someone that was able to reach out to me while using the video, I did realize that there is a need to visit the cypress.json file one more time and do some things, and also talk about weights generally. So this short video will be about weights and how best you can use it in Cypress. Now, for best practices, Cypress doesn't allow you to use an outright weight. It doesn't. It discourages you. Not that it doesn't allow you. It discourages you from using an outright weight. So on best practices, there are some other methods you can use. One of the methods you can use is change the what's it called? Change the configuration setting for your default command timeout. Your default command timeout is set to 4,000 milliseconds. That is equal to 4 seconds. Now, what does the default command timeout do? That is the time it will take your command to expire. Let's say you give an instruction, and for instance you're looking for the text box, so you can type in Google Pixel Pro. So it takes 4 seconds to look for the text box, and it will take 4 seconds to type this, else it will just move on to the next thing. So it means that you need to factor in the load time of your application, so you can modify your default command timeout accordingly. By convention, the latest you should wait on a command should not exceed 30 seconds. That is 30,000 milliseconds. Anything beyond that means you have a very bad system and you need to visit how your system actually reacts, and the development team should work on making your system faster. So we are going to use that default. You're going to use that value, but you can use something less like 20 seconds or 15 seconds, but we are just going to put it at 30 seconds. So this is what you would do in your cypress.json file. You would come and you will change, you write a default command timeout, and you set that to 30 milliseconds. That's I've made a mistake, so it's 30 milliseconds, so that is equal to 30 seconds. So what that means for us is that we would have 30 seconds for the command to run to check for the code. So basically what we are saying is this. As you can see, it has changed to 30 seconds. What we are saying is this: when we run this code, when we run our script now, for each time that you use any command, like maybe fetch an element, if the page has not loaded and Cypress has already gotten to the command, it will wait 30 seconds. And within that 30 seconds, it will keep retrying that command. So once the command is successful, it moves on to the next thing. So that is why Cypress is fast. And Cypress is able to do this because Cypress does not use like a WebDriver manager to serve like an intermediary between your code and the actual browser where your code is executed. So it makes it very fast. So one other thing we should talk about is the wait feature in Cypress. The wait feature in Cypress is there. You could have something like this. Let us add it to our code. Let's add something like that to our code. That's okay. For every time it is done, for every time we are done with a particular search, we have to wait 5 seconds. Let's do that. This particular step is what Cypress discourages, that you shouldn't wait outrightly. There are better ways to do it based on Cypress best practice. So if we do this right now and we run our code this way, as you can see that our code is still running because we have not searched for Google Pixel 6 yet. So, and remember that in the previous videos, we have disabled watching for file changes. So we have to start this by ourselves and run it again. You'll see in one of the, in searching for Ferrari, it waits 5 seconds after it is done. Now, Cypress discourages that. There are better ways to wait. You can use that same cy.wait to wait for a condition, perhaps that you've initially set. you could use the cy intercept to do that, right? You like, okay, what would you want to intercept? Well, in future videos, I will probably look for a better scenario to explain how best you can use cy.wait. But ideally, avoid using cy.wait and putting in a fixed or an arbitrary time into it. So that way your time would not be wasted. So one other thing you can also do to ensure that your default command timeout is your default command timeout is you ensure that your default command timeout is judiciously used is doing some checks while you're trying to making some simple assertions and validations while using a particular command. For instance, let us remove this wait first. Let's remove this wait. Oh, let's see that the wait really happened. You'll see at some point it waited 5 seconds before it moved on to this. So now what we want to do is we want to create some form of verification in our code. That verification would allow the usage of our it's like a win-win situation for us. We create a way where the default command timeout will be judiciously used. Pardon my pronunciation. It will be judiciously used, and at the same time it will help us verify that what we were trying to whatever elements we are trying to interact with is actually valid. So we will use the should command. We use the should command, and probably we could say maybe let's make sure that it is visible. So that will be b.visible. Or we could also check the search button to see that, okay, yes, the DOM element actually exists. So we just do exist. I think, is it exist or exist? We'll find out if we make a mistake with that anyway. So let us see and run this again. So we'll see that in the first instance, there'll be a verification of the element. Watch what you will see on the runner right now. As you can see, it verified that the element is there, and it's also verified that the search button exists in the DOM. So you can also add those checks into it. So, but I would look for a suitable scenario to explain how best you can use the cy.wait instead of putting a cy.wait and putting an arbitrary number into it. So in the next video, we will now talk about support folders and creating custom commands. Then in that same section, we'll also talk about extending the support folder to support more commands. See you in the next video, and thank you for showing up, and thank you for the criticisms. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.